everyone. This is Tribecast, episode 37, and my name is Marina. This week we've got 2 interviews for you. First, you'll hear Arta Citko talking about her books, her experience in design, and the workshop she facilitated during Red Brick Accelerator this week. And then you'll hear Harri Halonen sharing his experience as a volunteer within Tribe Tampere startup community. My name is Marina, this is Tribecast. Let's get to the interviews. As you might remember, our dear listeners, one of the first things we did, or technically the first thing Tribecast ever did, was recording the coaches and startups which took part in the first batch of Red Brick Accelerator. And this year, this amazing mentoring program for early stage startups are doing their second batch. And today I have one more coach who did quite a trip from Latvia. Do I remember right? Yeah. From Latvia to Tampere, basically only to tell early stage startups of second batch of RBA what is it to be a designer and why you need a designer and did you talk about UX?
Yeah. Like the design part of branding and some other parts of branding as well.
Okay, so design, branding, Anyways, hello Arta. Thank you very much for being at P47 tonight, and thank you very much for having time after your session to do a quick interview. Let's start the way we usually do it at Tribecast. Please tell our listeners a few things about yourself.
Yeah, so I'm Arta Citko from Latvia. I am a coach and a designer, and also an author. So I do a lot of things, mostly with design-related things are helping companies to create their first visual materials and, helping companies create the first visual materials, also some other materials, and coaching people about, it's like personal and professional development coaching. Yeah. I'm just, I'm getting nervous when I need to get the words right. So
I know the feeling. I do know the feeling. How do you actually become a designer? Did you take any courses? Did you graduate from the university?
I went to a professional secondary school. We have these in Latvia, where in 4 years I did the secondary school thing and also got the interior designer diploma. And on the last year of school, I started my own company. And since then, it's been 9 years since I finished school and I've never studied further. But now this year, I'm finally starting bachelor's.
Okay.
Yeah, but all this time I've been working. I really like to take action and be practical and do things and build things. So I have had my own company, then I went to work in UK, then I worked in Latvia also in advertising, and I'm a freelancer 3 years already. Yeah.
Okay. So do you actually think that for being a designer, what's more important, education or professional experience?
Definitely professional experience. Yeah, because in school, if you don't go to school and do the work, you don't learn anything. So basically, you can only learn when you do, and it doesn't matter if it's in school or in your free time.
Right. And since you work with lots of companies, do you work mostly with big ones or do you work mostly with startups or small, middle size?
Mostly with small and middle size. That's my favorite thing because I don't like to have very big complicated projects that last for a long time because I'm the person that likes diversity and doing small tasks is more interesting for me. So I really focus on the small ones to help them create their first materials. Yeah, that's my focus.
Is this why you decided to coach for Red Brick Accelerator, which is the program for early stage startups?
I met Mirza in one accelerator event in Techchill, actually in Latvia, and I've been mentoring a few accelerators before, so I thought this might be a fun way to continue this. This fits what I like to do, so that's why I agreed.
All right. What's your general experience about today's session? What do you think of the startups? How strong they are? How dedicated they seem to you? Were there any very interesting projects or just some?
They look very dedicated to their projects. They have their idea, what they want to do with it, when we talked over, they had like arguments and they had the ideas. It wasn't like they were just like waiting for me to give them the gold nuggets, but they were like really involved in answering the questions and coming up with ideas how to solve these things.
All right. So what was your session about? We got it that there was marketing and branding involved, but could you open up a bit?
Yeah, so it was about design part and mostly about the design part, but mostly it was about branding from 3 different perspectives, like looking at the visuals, the tone of voice, and the behavior about the actions. Mm-hmm. And we went through different approaches, how to come up with some insights about how to create their branding, how to create their brand image, and even like how to create a brand persona that's resonating with the customer persona and their needs and their values.
So it's not brand image, it's brand persona. Why?
Yeah, image is... actually, you can understand it in different ways, because image might be just a visual and image might be the whole image of the brand. So it also includes the tone of voice and the actions. So it really depends on what's the meaning of the image.
Okay, on the one hand, as a podcast host, I do support the necessity of talking about voice, right? Voice range. On the other, as a person with not that much startup experience, I'm really, really curious if we take, for example, I know that a few startups from this batch are developing apps. Mm-hmm. So where does here the tone of voice jump in?
Tone of voice is related to the style of language, the complexity of language they use in website copy or in videos, like in audio, or how they deal with customer service issues. Mm-hmm. It all involves words. Mm-hmm. So how they present themselves also in advertising, in social media posts, they have their, like, the character of their brand has this specific tone of voice. And if it's consistent and if it's resonating with the customer, that's the best. Yeah.
Arta, I know that you, or at least you mentioned that you're also a writer. As far as I know, you wrote a book recently. Would you like to present it to our listeners?
I have 8. They are like very, very short books and very practical. Yeah, so they have, for example, one is a brand character playbook, which is today's topic, Mm-hmm. And the book helps you understand what are the main building blocks of the brand, what are the elements, and with the specific tasks inside helps you to come up with the insights, how to improve your branding or how to create it if you don't have started. So the books are practical, there are tasks inside and a bit of information. So you don't have to like buy a thick book and read it for 3 months, but just like go through it all in one day and already have a result in the end.
So there are not only text, but do you have, I don't know, some exercises or something?
Yeah, exactly. So there, each book has a specific number of chapters. Mm-hmm. Each chapter is about a specific part of the topic. And there's a bit of intro, like 20% theory, and then there are 80% of practical tasks. That's for all the books.
All right. So you have 8 books already.
Yeah.
Any new books coming?
Actually, yeah, next year, but I still have to translate because a few of them are still just in Latvian, but I'm translating in English, so there's gonna be new books for international audience.
Amazing. And also any event you're gonna coach soon?
Not really.
Okay, so you're just gonna work and write.
Yeah, I'm gonna study, because I started studying, so I gotta...
Welcome back to the university life.
Yeah.
Do you have student discounts in Latvia?
Yes.
Cool.
Yeah, I just last week got the student cards. But mentioning the new book is about how to manage your personal finances.
Not all your books are about design.
Yeah, they're for different topics. So one, for example, is about how to manage your stress, how to find out the potential career direction, about healthy habits, about, this one about how to manage your personal finances. So there are different topics.
That seems extremely interesting. And you're a full-size author of all of those? Or
no,
do you have
not exactly. I wrote 3 of them by myself, but others are created with my friends who are experts in their area. So, for example, stress management is with a psychologist. This personal finances with my fellow coach who has experience in banking, in finances. So it's putting the most important pieces of that topic and making it practical and in a short format. That's the way I like it.
All right. And as far as I could see, your workshop for Red Brick Accelerator today was also very, very practical.
Yeah.
This was Arta, a very practical girl from Latvia. Thank you very much for joining us tonight.
Thanks for having me here.
Thank you, and have a safe trip home.
Yeah, thank you. Bye-bye.
We continue with the episode 37, and I have a question for you, my dear listeners. Do you know what's better than one designer? I would say that better than one designer is having two designers in the same episode, so we can really dig in the discussion about various kinds of design and the necessity of having designers as part of startup ecosystem. But also we really try to keep Tribecast a media which gives the real voices to the players of Tampere startup ecosystem. And I would like to introduce to you the guy whose official position in Tribe Tampere startup community core team is design support, as far as I remember. But also he is involved in lots of various projects. And then we'll do a thing which is not very often done in podcasts and radios. We'll give the voice to the person who is usually behind the mixing point and the sound. So, hello, Harri. Thank you very much for being brave enough to sit closer to the microphone today. And please tell our listeners a few things about yourself.
Hi, Marina. Nice to be here. First time in front of a mic. So I'm Harri. I've done a little bit of sound production for this podcast also. And now been approximately 5 months with Tribe Tampere as almost a side gig beside my thesis writing journey in the Human Technology Interaction Master's Degree Program in the University of Tampere, or Tampere University as it is right now. I'm an audiophile, and that means like avid podcast listener, so it's fun to be making one and now talking into one. And audiobooks, whatever, I'm always with my headphones on. And yeah, a designer also. So I've worked as a user interface designer and developer also. Now over here at Tribe, I've got to, play my hand at different kinds of various design tasks that they've assigned me.
Let me remind you that during the summer we did a Tribecast summer tour, and you can still go back to those episodes to check what's going on in Helsinki, Turku, Seinäjoki, Pori and Kotka. Posters, that was the creation of Harri, and basically I kept on telling him that he's the wizard because I loved them a lot. And also, as far as I remember, someone told me that you tried to have your own startup.
Well, yeah, that kind of did happen. We never incorporated. I guess there was this idea that we might not be suited for each other, which evidently in the end just that's most of the biggest reason why we broke up. But yeah, it was about this kind of after a service design workshop, we continued with the team to develop this kind of let's say it's a Netflix for and a part of a social media type of a thing for elderly people. It doesn't really sound like that, but some people are still working on the project, so I don't want to give too much details on that. But yeah, there's a history of that, a 7-month period.
And then you somehow ended up at Tribe Tampere Startup Community. Okay, I do remember how it all started for you. I was on the other part of the table doing the job interview with you at some point. But why do you think it's useful for you to join the community rather than looking for a job in a company or starting another startup or being an entrepreneur or, volunteering for Red Cross? Why here?
Well, the biggest thing for me is to just empower the entrepreneurs we have here. So I saw this as a clear way to help people forward on their chosen path. The path of an entrepreneur has a lot of risk in it. And I see it as a mostly volunteer-based community. We can give that support for them on their daily grind. So at least they don't feel so alone in this wild west of startup world.
As far as I understand, the biggest project which you were really heavy involved as a volunteer, even as a volunteer lead, was Stream Startup Festival.
So we had a Tribe team dinner, and during that, I don't know what I was ranting about, but we were having fun, as often Tribe crew has. Come and join us. Markus Kleff decided to just put the question out there. So Harri, you seem the kind of guy that could be our volunteer organizer for Stream Startup Festival. And it was really taken back about it because my idea of joining